Let's talk about the Smith & Wesson CSX E-Series. 3.1 inch, optics ready, transforming 9mm double stack, 2011, people calling it, whatever it is, CSX E-Series. Let's get into it, right? Okay. Gun is clear. Now, my configuration is going to be a little different than just your standard or even your configuration, because I do have the SIG Romeo X optic on here. Now, I'm going to get with the program and go ahead and get to the negatives first. Then I'll get into kind of what's all included. Then I'll get into the positives, because I like hearing negatives first, then give me the good news later. My negatives on this firearm, number one is it does not come with the rail. Okay? Come on, Smith & Wesson. Now, I know what they're doing here, because as I speak, I'm sure there's a redesign already in place for the CSX E-Series, and it's probably going to be a CSX 2.0, or it's going to be a CSX Performance Series, and it's going to probably have a rail, and it's probably going to have a port of some sort. It's probably not going to have a port on the 3.1. It's going to be the 3.6 as I'm guessing, or they may introduce a 4-inch version that has the rail and a port on it. I don't know, but I know that's probably coming, because that's what gun manufacturers do, is get you to buy something and then they come out with something latest and greatest and it's improved and they'll get you to buy that. So, negatives, no rail. Now, I'll back up here too. I know the Kimber CDS9, the Classic Series, is kind of a contender with this. It's more expensive than the Smith & Wesson, but it doesn't have a rail either. But the regular CDS9 by Kimber does have a rail. That firearm is a lot more expensive, and you don't really get the, spoiler alert, the 3 magazines and kind of the shape shifting of this firearm. So keep that in mind. Number 2 dislike right out of the gate is losing the rear sight. And this is not just going for the CSX. In my opinion, in any firearm, if you have to lose the rear sight to put on an optic, it's kind of a huge negative for me, even though I still have this firearm. And I know there's not a lot of real estate here, but I really wish Smith & Wesson could have figured something out. If not on the 3.1, on the 3.6. I don't know. My opinion. And that's really it for the negatives for me. The gun fires great. I didn't clean it. I just went and shot it. Shoots good. Shoots well. Yes. Okay. With the 12-rounder, it still shoots good because this is a whole aluminum frame, so it handles recoil pretty well. But let me tell you, when you put in the 15-round magazine and you get a full grip on that thing, it shoots really good. Okay? That's the 15-round. The 17-round looks a little bit silly, I will say, but hey, they included 3 magazines with this purchase. I mean, if you go buy the CSX E-Series, you're getting 3 magazines, so I don't really care. I'm probably not going to rock the 17. I'm probably going to have it if I'm doing a range day. This will be my backup, but in configuration, I will be going back and forth between the 15-rounder, which I think still looks good and is practical, and the 12-rounder, which still functions very well, still shootability wise great. So now let's just go ahead, and I showed you the 3 magazines it came with. It also comes with this sleeve. Okay, this is the shorter one on the gun. That comes with the longer one, basically adds that much to the length of the firearm, and you can still use the same 3 magazines. You just will, the sleeve configuration will change. So there's that. You do get a interchangeable back strap with that, and I mean, you get kind of your manuals. You do get a punch tool, and yeah, I think a lot of people probably complain about the cardboard box. I don't really care. If you want to be great, Smith & Wesson, send it out in a range bag of some sort or a pouch. But anyways, I'm not picky. The texturing on this firearm is good. You get front and rear serrations. You get kind of a cutout in the back in order to kind of grip it a little bit better. But I will say, adding an optic, at least to the 3.1 inch, you do lose a lot of real estate right here on racking because there's really not much there, but the slide serrations do work pretty well. And I have to say too, the action and the slide on this firearm is phenomenal. It's tight, the tolerances are tight. It feels good racking it. Racking it from the front, up top profile, so the slide finish is good. You got your one dot up front. Like I said, you do lose your rear irons in the back, and then there's my dot for my Romeo X. Obviously, this is a hammer-fired firearm, so there's your hammer. You do have ambidextrous safety, so grip texture, you do get a full wraparound on the front. You have a little bit of grip texture on your slide release, on your magazine release. Slide stop is on both sides. You can change out the magazine release. What else am I missing here? Honestly, I think it's pretty nice. Now, like I said, you can get the Kimber CDS9 Classic, but you're going to spend a little bit more money, and it's only going to come with 2 magazines. Or if you wanted to go all out, you could get the regular CDS9. Once again, you get 2 magazines, and it's a lot more expensive, but they're both optics ready. So take your pick, take your poison. I think that in all, the CSX is a pretty nice firearm. Aluminum frame. I will say the aluminum, it does scratch a little bit easier than some of your polymer stuff, but hey, this is a concealed carry firearm, so it's going to get scratched up. If not here, it's going to get scratched up on the slide. So it is what it is. So like I said, 12-round magazine in the firearm. Functionality is great. Shootability is great. Concealability is great. Heck, like I said before, even the 15-round concealability-wise is still pretty dang good. So there's the 15-round. Now, when you start getting into the 17-round magazine, I think that's really just for a spare, a backup, or really just going to the range and just having fun with it. So your safety definitely has a positive click. I will say not a huge negative, but I have noticed, at least with me, and I catch myself now because I know it's going to happen. When you disengage the safety, on this side here, depending on where you're putting your finger and your knuckle, that will come in and it'll bite you. So I've learned to kind of adjust, but it could bite and pinch you. Right? If you look right there. So just be careful there. People are complaining about slide bite. I could see that happening depending on how high you're trying to ride your grip. I don't have very big hands, but I could see that happening with this. It doesn't happen for me, but I could see it happening. In all, I think that if you're on the fence, I would say go ahead and get one. Now, what I'm asking from you, though, is what are your true thoughts? I've held the 3.6. I have not fired a 3.6, but I really think shootability-wise, the 3.1 still shoots really good for this size of a firearm. I think the 3.6 will probably shoot a little bit better. And so I was really hoping to snag one of those. If you've shot both of them, please comment and let me know which one you prefer. If you haven't shot both of them, and you also let me know which one you prefer too, if you have it or not. I'd love to know your input, love to know your thoughts. But I think the Smith & Wesson E-Series is a well put together platform, firearm. I think 3 magazines out of the gate. Yeah, I think it's great. Honestly, if they would have included 2 magazines, I probably wouldn't have purchased it. That third round really kind of sent me over the edge, and I was like, man, I really wanted to try the original CSX, but seeing that they provided 3 magazines and just how different this firearm, how much different you can really set this thing up. And that's just, I think it's pretty good. Just, yeah. So, CSX E-Series. Oh, before I forget, let's get into the trigger, because that's what all you probably want to know, right? How's the trigger? Well, gun's clear. Trigger is improved, but kind of not improved, and I'm going to show you why. I'm not knocking this trigger because I believe I can work with this, and it's really not that big of a deal. I just thought it was kind of odd and kind of weird that this is supposed to be a new and improved trigger, but it does have a little bit of quirk to it, but I'm not complaining. Let's just set that straight. I can work with this, and I kind of like it. So here's what I'm talking about here. Okay. Hammer's pulled back. Okay. Nothing in the firearm. What's going to happen is I'm going to describe what's going to happen, right? You're going to pull the trigger and you're going to hit a wall. And I thought it was the wall, but it's not. So listen, okay? I think that that's the wall. One more time. So watch what happens and listen to what happens next. Did you hear that? I thought I hit the wall, and I thought that that click should have went bang for the gun, but it's not. So one more time. Wall. And then there's your bang. One more time. Wall. There's your bang. Interesting, right? So to me, I kind of like that because that lets me know, okay, I'm staging my trigger, right? I'm wall. Okay, now I'm ready to go. Now, if you're just pulling the trigger, you're not going to notice that. But for me, in a self-defense situation, it's not going to matter at all. You're going to be, okay? You can do that all day long in a self-defense. But when I'm out in the range and I'm really trying to practice and focus, I kind of like to squeeze. Now, here's the reset. It was doing this to me at first. It's calmed down quite a bit, but listen to this. Ha, that's not your reset. Okay? That's your reset. So one more time. Bang. Not your reset. That's your reset. Kind of weird, right? One more time. Not your reset. That's your reset. Like I said, I'm not complaining because it really forces me to really kind of just focus a little bit. So anyways, that's the trigger. It's got a nice, it's not heavy. Not heavy at all. And honestly, once you really hit that wall after that second little click, I mean, there's no other squeeze. You're pulling the trigger. So that's the trigger. That's probably what you wanted to know. But that's what mine does. Let me know if yours does that too. I'm not complaining. I think I can work with that, and I'm okay with it. So thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button. See you later.